Welcome everyone to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy, I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and today I am not joined, as always, by my brilliant co-host, Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon, and also, sadly, producer Nils. The boys are taking a little summer vacation, so I am doing a podcast takeover. We are going to do my top 5 clips of the year so far. It is June 1st. The year is almost halfway over. And we've had so many great episodes. I thought it would be fun to do a little mid-year podcast catch-up. So I'm going to do my top 5 picks of the year. And please be patient and give me some grace. This episode was not only starring me, just me, but also completely edited by me. So it's not up to Nils' standard, neither is the lighting or anything else, but I did just want to share what my top 5 picks of the year have been so far, and to let you know that we do have some amazing episodes coming up this summer. We, of course, have one of our favorite episodes, which is the stuff we're into. I have some great listener questions that I've been holding on to for the last couple months, so we're going to talk about those. So if you do have questions, leave them on the comment section of this video, and we will get those in with our next set of episodes about listener questions and just some other great episodes that will be coming down the pipe for the rest of the summer. But for now, it's going to be my top 5 of the year. We've had a lot of great episodes. All the full episodes that I talk about in this video will be linked down below as well, so you can go watch the full video, and I do highly recommend it. Oh, the episode that we just released about the future of plastic surgery, the one about Reddit, will plastic surgery make me happier? There's just so many great ones. So without further ado, let's do my top 5 clips of 2025 to date. All right, so my number 5 choice is from episode 185. This is research we're into, and it was just a interesting kind of conversation, how the conversation tends to go with these research we're into. This one, we started talking about supercomputers, and I just found it super interesting. So here is number 5.
And I'm assuming Amy's going to talk a little bit about AI, and that's where you see in these peptide designs, as the AI designs them and then tests them in the AI system, which utilizes supercomputers, because the amount of combinations is insane. And actually, this is getting way off into the forest, but there's something called a quantum computer that's now coming out. Google has one, IBM has one. And ask me how it works, I have no idea. I've read it like 4 times and I still don't understand. It's just very space age. Anyways, those are like infinitely faster than the best supercomputer. And once we're able
by billions fold. Like it's not even numbers that the human brain can comprehend. A quantum computer. Like
so the one that recently that that was like advertised or was in an article. Was it
advertised?
Yeah, whatever.
You cannot buy a quantum computer.
I don't know.
This is not on the back of a cereal box.
I always feel like when you
kids.
read it, like in Medium or something, that the company is just releasing this as a PR stunt. But you know what I'm saying? It's not part of a scientific article. Yeah. So there was an equation or some sort of computation that it did, and it would have taken the best supercomputer, that exists right now, 35 years, and it took the quantum computer 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that's the difference. So I don't even know what that ratio is.
Yeah, it messes with all internet security. Like once they're developed, that's what other countries developing them, and America know that it's because as soon as they nail that down, it's like there's no password, there's no security measure. They have to figure out a whole different way to secure data once they're out there. So it's kind of scary.
Isn't that what blockchain's supposed to stop, or is that even included?
I'm not sure totally, but yeah, I know that's one of the biggest concerns is just all over digital security will change fundamentally.
Security will change.
Security in general, yeah. But very cool technology.
Yeah, so it's insane. So if protein folding and
I was actually just going to bring that up.
And protein structures, Google has a whole subset in AI for this, and other companies do, proprietary and nonprofit.
Well, because that really is what triggers aging, is the misfolding of proteins throughout the body.
But also, that's how you come up with novel medications. And what they do is they do all these different peptides or these protein designs, different folding
protein
structures.
is just a peptide is just a protein.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And then they test those out. Well, testing those out in humans or monkeys or rats would take forever. So they test them out virtually or in AI and able to, kind of pilfer through millions and millions of options and pull out like 10 or something. I'm just simplifying it.
Yeah. Before AI, I remember 10, 15 years ago, Citizen Science released a thing like as anyone can go in and play a game where you fold proteins, and they just kept building because the manpower needed. They're just like, well, we'll pass it out to everyone and then just take all that data. And then AI came out and it's like we can do millions of these in a day or whatever now. So, but it was a really cool little like
they had the
Citizen Science.
gamers.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, you could go in and just fold proteins and they just take that information, just keep stacking it with all the different people doing it, which was really cool.
So I think you're going to see more and more of this. And I think GLP-1s are, like in the news right now, but I think that's really evidence of the fact that these peptide-based kind of medications that are mimicking growth factors in the body are going to be used to treat so many different things. And hopefully Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's, which is such an amazingly high incidence now, is going to be positively affected by these medications.
My number 4 clip comes from episode 189, which was actually a Q&A episode, so questions from listeners, but also I include comments, and this was a comment that I just loved.
Yay. All right. This comment I loved. So this was from Samantha Wood Hull, 5372. People, why does everybody have to put numbers in their username? Like, I don't know why you do this to me. This was from episode 149, Mommy Makeover Myths. We're talking about the myth busting episodes. I love this comment so much. When I got it, I read it out to Catherine immediately. I am a seamstress and I am getting a mommy makeover. I refer to it as birthday suit altering, skin tailoring. Her birthday suit alteration.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah. There's a little more to it. Like we're not just, okay. This is kind of hitting me wrong. We do the deeper layers too. The muscle.
Well, you think when you make a dress, it's just one layer?
Okay, well, don't get me. I'm not a
wedding dress.
Yeah, I don't do these things.
Oh my goodness, there's many layers.
Yeah, I'm not a seamster or seamstress.
A seamstress, as Samantha Woodhull is. Do you think Woodhull is one word, or is it Wood? Like, is that like she's Samantha Wood, hyphen Hull, or is she Samantha Woodhull?
I think Woodhull
is one word.
That's kind of a cool name.
I like it, Woodhull.
Yeah. Feel very pilgrimy.
Well, it's not H-A-U-L.
Like the beginning of the country.
Woodhull, not Hull.
No, I know.
Yeah. So it's not like Woodhull. It's Woodhull.
That's not crazy. People come over, they change the way their last name is spelled. Woodhull is her name.
Yeah.
I've decided this.
I like it.
Okay,
and birthday suit alteration is just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? I love that.
So I love we've had people that do this for a living as my patients. We've had hair stylists, people that are more artistic using their hands, and they always relate it to their job, which I just find so fun and fascinating.
Well, but you would do the same.
Oh,
you do
100%
the same thing.
I do it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's weird because when you're at the mechanic and you're trying to equate that with doing a facelift, and the guy's looking at you like, I don't know what the hell you're saying, bro. Just sorry.
Right. This is just like when I'm doing a bypass surgery.
Yeah. Don't relate any of your tailoring to like skin, or they'll think you're Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I call it the birthday suit alteration. That's the skin tailoring gets a little Silence of the Lambs.
Love it.
Cool, though,
yeah.
yes.
Love that, Samantha Woodhull.
Good question, Ms. Woodhull.
Love it. All right.
Number 3 comes from episode 188, which was our episode about breast implant removal. And this was toward the end of the episode when we were talking about, I think, recovery, but we were also talking about the kind of unique nature of this surgery. So here is clip number 3.
These things. But there is a special note about the results of breast implant removal, and this comes directly from the ASPS website. And I thought it was so good that I copied it. I copied part of it word for word. But let me just first say that breast implant removal will change the shape of your breasts, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Breasts will be flatter or droopier than they were before surgery, may have irregularities, indentations. This may be more pronounced immediately after surgery. Like I said, think about just giving birth.
So this wording is on their site. What you're saying
the
right
one that's
now?
coming up is.
Okay, the quotations part. Okay.
Yeah. If you had large implants and capsular contracture, these things will be more pronounced, but it will continue to improve and change during recovery. This next couple sentences come directly from plasticsurgery.org. The practice of medicine and surgery is not an exact science. With this particular surgery...
It's actually an art form. I say this all the time.
Yeah. With this particular surgery, the results are not always cosmetic because the breast tissue is thin as a result of having implants for an extended period of time. The results can also be affected if the implants have been leaking. In some situations, it may not be possible to achieve optimal results with a single surgical procedure, and another surgery may be necessary.
Yep.
Literally word for word what it says on plasticsurgery.org.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
It's so good. And this isn't meant to scare anybody. It's just to tell you, like, your doctor's going to do the best they can, but this is a surgery that can be very challenging if you've had big implants for a long time, you got bad capsules.
The concept of it is very easy in
Yes.
your mind. The
Taking
doing
it down.
part of it can be extremely hard. Some of the hardest cases I've ever done. I just did one of these in 2024 in the fall time. Terrible capsule, terrible asymmetry, bilateral ruptured implants, double bubble deformity with severe ptosis or droopiness of the breast. And I had to put implants back in. It almost would have been easier not to put implants back in.
That must have been a recount because that wasn't.
No, that was us. An obliterated pocket.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually more than, that was not in the fall of 24. That was like literally a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It felt like
No.
it's like it's one of those things.
That's been more
vividly. It's like Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, no, that's
I
been
can
way
feel it in my
more than a year
bones.
ago. Yep.
The results, thank God, were great, but that was just me working on the fly, being super creative and
capsules.
using intuition. I mean, there was no cookbook. What are you going to go to? I mean, there's no cookbook on this.
She also had no idea what size implants she had.
Had
Which
no
it was
idea what-
anybody's
yeah.
guess at that point.
So this is not uncommon. So, and I think this paragraph surprisingly is really good because it really just sums it up and a little more formally, but really a lot of these cases you have to be flexible and creative and try to figure out novel ways to do stuff.
And from the patient side, you got to be patient.
Yeah.
Your recovery is not going to be, your results will not be instant.
Right.
Your recovery will be really easy.
Yeah.
But your results will be longer.
It takes some time.
Yeah.
Number 2 came from one of my favorite episodes so far this year. It was episode 186, and it was a Reddit response to Will Plastic Surgery Make Me Happy? And I was just so impressed with some of the comments and kind of where some of these conversations about this topic went on Reddit. So if you haven't listened to this episode, I highly recommend it. But this clip toward the end of the episode talking about celebrating small wins was just one of my favorite moments of the year so far.
These next two. This one was actually the one that started it all. What is something you wish you knew before having plastic surgery? And there were only a couple of responses. Expect better, not perfect. That as soon as one important item was fixed, I would notice other quote unquote huge flaws in myself that I had honestly never noticed before.
Right.
Happens all the time.
Breast reduction, you reduce the breast and all of a sudden your belly's huge.
Right. Like, when did I get this gigantic stomach?
Yeah.
Or, oh my gosh, my thighs.
Yeah.
Change most likely won't be that dramatic and it occurs slowly, which is true, I think, especially in things like a facelift, because you still look like yourself. So people think that nothing changed because in their mind, and they're looking at themselves every day. And then you show them their before pictures and they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's usually when the tears start.
Yes, because you forget right away because you still do look like yourself. You look like yourself from 10 years ago, but to your mind, that's not different. So you start thinking that it's not different. I mean, you know how many times I've shown people their pictures and they're like, never show these to anyone because they forget. Like, and we all do. Like, we take what we...
It's a defense mechanism.
Yes.
That's the way our brains work.
Well, and our brain remembers. Like, yeah, you look
Or
like this.
it's also trying to compartmentalize and forget stuff.
That too.
Yeah.
Yes, like traumatic experiences. And then this one was a really long post. But the gist of it was, for anyone struggling with post-operative depression and self-love, celebrate your small wins. And they went on to talk about one of theirs was, there were, again, very few responses, which I found so sad, but this person really summed it up. They said, true. With every physical change and enhancement, I care less. No one cares about these changes, so all that matters is how I feel about myself, which is incidentally the only thing that people do really care about and what makes one attractive and unique. Their energy, their attention to the
Preach.
world, and their way of dealing with life. In short, no one gives a flying bleep that out, Nils. If your nose
Can I say it? Flying. Bleep that out too, Nils.
right, is 3 millimeters thinner, but they will appreciate your kindness and positivity.
Right. And your ethos and your energy and your empowerment and your pumped upness.
Yes. And we see that. Like, I say one of the best parts of my job is that we get to interact with so many unique people that, you know, I'd never probably run across in normal life and or have the ability to communicate with them like we do. people are fascinating. And the ones that are the most fascinating are the ones who just have that thing that no amount of external anything could take from them or give to them. They have energy. They have, vivaciousness in life.
Joie de vivre.
Yeah.
That's what the French say.
And finally, my number one came from our most recent episode, which was episode 193, where we were talking about the future of plastic surgery. And toward the end of the episode, it was actually the very last one that we talked about. We started talking about surgery for breast cancer, but it just led to a much deeper conversation. And I loved the input from Nils and kind of where we got into with looking at the future of protein folding and being able to diagnose and find certain types of cancers. So it was a good way to end the episode on a very hopeful note. And, it's going to be an interesting wild ride here in medicine for the next 10 to 20 to 50 years. Gosh, can't even imagine where we'll be at in 50 years with medicine, but please enjoy the clip from episode 193, my number one clip of the year to date. And thank you all so much for listening.
Anyway, okay, I think this is the last one.
Okay.
Breast removal for breast cancer.
Oh, yeah.
A mastectomy.
So 5 years, yes.
10 years. Ooh, double nose.
And then no, yeah.
Of course, 20 and beyond, no.
I mean, this is my hope. I mean, talk about barbaric surgery.
Yeah, so I like this optimism.
Yeah, so mastectomies came about in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, like we have cancer, let's just cut this whole organ off a body.
So they were very barbaric in the old days. They would take the muscle and skin and
bone,
everything, or sometimes bone, but
like
they were very aggressive. And now we have modified radical mastectomies and modified mastectomies. We have lumpectomies with sentinel node biopsies or sampling of the lymph nodes, radiation treatment. What I think is going to happen in the future for cancers in general is these super aggressive cancer treatments, like surgical treatments, and these super aggressive doses of radiation are going to go by the wayside with these novel medications. They're like chemotherapy that are affecting your immune system.
Yeah, the immunotherapy. I mean, that exists now and is really effective for some cancers.
Yeah, it's really good. So I think you're going to see that going to be more and more common. Yeah. And the data is coming out that we could start to be a little less aggressive with these breast cancers and do a lot more of these immunomodulating treatments. Melanoma is already there. Melanoma has changed in the past 10 to 15 years. The treatment of
even
it,
in the last 5
longevity,
years.
Mortality rate has dropped because of these immunomodulating medications. So yeah, I think for sure by 20 years, you're not going to see a lot of mastectomies.
Well, and I think also this shows, the progression of our understanding of the progression of disease, where in base level medicine, like this is the offending factor, just remove it. That doesn't always solve the problem. That doesn't always extend out or extend lifespan, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, most cancers, almost all cancers now, you remove it with margins and then you check the regional area to see if the cancer had gone somewhere. So it would be a lymph node in most cases. You do that with all the GI cancers, with breast cancers, with head and neck cancer. So almost everything you're checking. And if you can't check the lymph nodes, you'll check a PET scan, something that sees where there's increased metabolism, and maybe they're looking at the spine or the brain. Maybe it's his, has a malignancy that has gone other places. But you're absolutely right. So the idea on this is that trying to surgically cut out something that is archaic, right? It's archaic in its basic nature, but it's what the data has shown to proven to be the most helpful.
Right. Well, because that was what was done.
Right. But I think in the next 20 years, you're going to see a switch.
Yeah. I hope so.
We're on the precipice right now.
Yeah.
I don't think surgery is going away. I think surgery is here for a long time to come, but I think you're going to see a whole change in this treatment protocols because Amy and I see it. It is devastating to watch people go through breast cancer treatment.
It's the worst.
It is.
It's awful.
It's awful. And you feel for these patients. I do breast reconstruction.
Like being a woman, like feeling like your breasts are a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, I know.
And that the solution to fix it right now is just awful. Like it sucks.
Right. But it's life-saving. So yeah.
It's life extending.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's what you have. But I do think that the future is bright for these kind of cancers for sure.
I hope that's the case for all cancers ultimately.
Yeah, I think, you get in, cancers are so weird. Like you want to group them all together, right? Like there's so many different types of breast cancers. There's invasive ductal, there's DCIS, there's lobular.
Don't you think like with AI though, that we'll have that ability to, as we start to be able to really nail down the offending genetic factors of some of these?
Oh, I am so happy I'm a surgeon. AI is going to take over so many people's jobs in medicine. I mean, I'm not even looking over there with you in production and editing, but it is going to absolutely revolutionize healthcare and especially cancer care, oncology, all this kind of stuff.
Anything where you need mass data.
Yeah.
And where there's just so really, truly, even things like breast cancer, we weren't really starting to treat this until 50, 60 years ago, right. Because we didn't know how to find it. We didn't know how to, these things are all relatively new. So, I am hopeful that the solution for some of these things might be better than other things.
Right.
I don't know.
And people think, 20 years is not that long. That's pretty long in medicine. Things change really quickly.
It's pretty long in technology.
Yeah, in technology too. You think 20 years ago, so this is 2505.
We've been working
The iPhone
together.
didn't even come out till 07. That's so nuts.
That's when Dr. and I started working together.
Yes.
The year of the iPhone. He still had an Android phone back then.
Oh, I did. Mm-hmm. And I used to play the Snake game on it. I remember that. And I had the keyboard that would flip out from it. It was awesome. I love that. Yeah.
I feel like you turned it off and on a bunch of times during the day just to hear it say droid.
Yeah, droid.
Yeah.
That's what it would do.
So see, people.
I remember getting the first iPhone. I remember standing outside the Verizon store in Louisville, Kentucky, because I was home visiting my parents. I was like, I'm going to go get this iPhone. That was hilarious. That was really funny. And I was like looking at how do you use this thing? Like, where's the keyboard thing? Right.
And now there's a whole generation of people who could never function without a phone.
No.
Ever.
But that was less than 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's my point about technology.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's gone from blowing our minds, changing our world, to now whenever I hear people talk about their phones, they talk about them like it's an addiction. Mm-hmm. And like if you say, I don't use social media or stuff like that, it's like you just gone into AA or something. They're like, wow, that's so great. It's like such a crazy shift.
You're really making the best out of your life.
Yeah, they're like, wow, you don't spend 18 hours on your phone. And that's all, like you said, 20 years.
Yeah, and it's 20 years, but the problems with phones are many, but the phones are really indicative of how fast technology expands. And you can see technology, because of it stacks upon itself, it's expanding exponentially almost in some ways. Whereas you go from 1930s to the 1970s to 2000, 2000 to 2020, you can see this exponential growth. And what's the theory, or not the theory, of the law with chips, like silicone chips, semiconductors?
Yeah, they double every storage. Like in my business, like it's a lot. A lot has to do with how much you can store, especially with high quality
how
video.
Small it can go, how much you can store.
It doubles. They used to double every, I forget what it was, every 2 years or every year or something like that. And it slowed down a little bit, but it's still, I just got a 28 terabyte hard drive in the mail 2 days ago for all this stuff. And it's like, if you told me even I had to have 10 gigs 20 years ago, I'd be
you
like,
remember how much those cost though too? It was like $100 for one of those keys.
Well, now you're like annoyed if something has less than like 5 terabytes.
It's
is this
almost
even worth
worthless.
it? Like this
your
is stupid.
apps will eat gigabytes now, you know what I mean? So it's,
but if you look at that, so the chips are getting decreased in size every 2 years, or half the size.
Oh yeah, and get smaller and smaller.
Smaller and smaller. So, but what people don't understand is the amount of technology that goes in to make that smaller every 2 years is exponentially bigger than what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have to keep growing exponentially with your technologies. These printing huge machines that do these, they're able to do this finite, almost like,
look at our Aura rings.
Molecular level printing of these chips. So
the amount of technology just in this ring. That is on our finger.
I think that's really going to transform plastic surgery, but I can tell you in the next 20 years, my job's not going away.
Yep. These things are all.
If I was a radiologist or a pathologist, I would be really concerned right now.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years.
Yeah. So will we still have jobs in 20 years?
We will. Yes. Will Amy still be saying this word to me in 20 years? Yes, you will say no to me.
Yes, I will.
That's your favorite word to me.
Yeah. Are we done with clinic?
No.
Can I leave?
Can I leave? No.
Is my lunch here?
No.
The answer is yes.
Do you want to make a video? No.
Did that lunch magically appear on your desk out of nowhere?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Yes. All right.
All right. Well, don't go running off. Before this, I'm gonna take back over from Nils. Nils, I so appreciate you being the moderator on this episode.
Oh, it's so much fun.
This was a great one. I don't know why this thought came to my mind, but I was like, man, this is gonna be such a fun episode.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
We will revisit this episode, I'm sure, at some point in time. Will we review our own video in 5 years?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And we won't have
I can't wait till we transform our backdrop into the Jeopardy wall.
you mean the answer is, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
from that form of question. But if you've made it this far in the video, we really appreciate y'all being here. If you would subscribe to our channel, that would be amazing. Even if you've never watched another video, I would still appreciate it. You can find all of our social media handles here. Tell us what you think the future of plastic surgery holds.
Or give us more things to discuss. I'd
Exactly.
love to do another one of these, maybe
Yeah.
with stuff that's even a little more specific.
Sheila, hit us up.
Yeah.
Or you can ask us questions and we can answer yes or no. Would you, like, what was the lady who said that plastic surgeons don't get plastic surgery? We would say,
Yeah.
no, they do get plastic
So
surgery.
we say, yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right. So, Dr. Martin, you have any final thoughts?
No, I think the future is bright. I'm so happy
No,
to.
as he continues to talk.
Yeah, no.
Oh, but here we go.
Yeah. I
Sources say yes.
Yes, I think the future is really bright. I'm excited about technology. I'm excited about curing diseases that, like one that my dad died from, like Parkinson's. I'm excited about curing the obesity problem in our country.
Having your daughter not worry about getting breast cancer.
And really have it making on-roads into cancer and things like that. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy to be a physician. Amy's so happy, and Amy, we're both so happy to be involved in the field of healing around the time of technology. It's amazing. I mean, if you put us 100 years ago, it would have been a disaster. So with that said,
I would have loved it.
I think a majority of things are around for 20 years. The basics of plastic surgery aren't going anywhere right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that final thought, we will see you all here next time.
See you later.
Oh, wow. What a year it's been so far. So thank you all so much for being here with me today. You can find links to all of our social media in the comments section below or in the description below. We are on social media everywhere at Jason Martin MD and also at Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. There's always the full videos, and we're also anywhere you listen to podcasts on Spotify, YouTube, all those places. So please give us a like, a comment, a rating, a review wherever you can, and share us with a friend. And definitely get your questions in for our upcoming questions from listeners episodes that will be coming up. Until I see you all next time, from my invisible co-host and producer Nils, we appreciate all of you for being here with us. And we'll see you here in a couple of weeks with some more great Beauty and the Surgeon podcast episodes.